Well, joining us now, the former Chief Minister of Maharashtra and senior Congress leader, Mr. Prithviraj Chavan. Mr. Chavan, thanks very much for being back on the program today. I just wanted to first ask you, what happened? As many as 10 of your party MLAs weren't there in the vote today.
Well, number one, there was no meeting of the CLP in the morning. Normally, the House begins at 11 o'clock and there is a meeting at 9:30, 10. So that everybody can get together and get the last minute instruction. That wasn't called today. I asked some of the members who could not be present inside. Sharply at nearly after 11 o'clock, the vote was called, and you know that when the vote is called, the lobbies are cleared, the doors are locked. So nobody who's standing outside the door can enter the lobbies. Apparently, these people got caught in traffic jam, as what they told us, because the rebel group of MLAs were coming from hotel, and everybody has been now given Y2 security. So everybody had a personal police security escort, about 50 of them. There were 3 large buses. The entire Marine Drive area was sealed by police. And that is the explanation what our MLAs gave us. Some NCP people also were caught out. But I think they should have been a little more careful, and I think
I was going to say that everybody knew the floor test was today, so the traffic jam excuse sounds a bit like the dog ate my homework. You wouldn't, you don't think?
Well, no, this for today was what we learned from our colleagues who were absent was that there was a special movement of the 50 Shiv Sena rebel MLAs from a nearby hotel to the Vidhan Sabha. And as I said, 50 people had 50 individual escort cars and the huge number of private cars and 3 large buses.
But Mr. Chavan, are you not worried that there is an attempt to break your party as well? We heard Mr. Mungetiwar just say that there are people that are in touch with the BJP, whether it's from the Congress or the NCP. Is the Congress going to stay together in Maharashtra? That's the question.
Well, now that Mr. Eknath Shinde has formed the government, and it will be there hopefully for 2.5 years, maybe earlier. And so many people who are jittery about saving their cooperative institutions, educational institutions, who are under threat of the BJP government. Everybody is facing a threat. Some inquiry or ED or income tax, CBI, all educational institutes are being probed. So there is a pressure, no doubt about that. But I don't think our MLAs will break, because they can't break and form another group. They'll have to resign and recontest the election. The classical Operation Kamla that happened in Karnataka and Madhya Pradesh. If BJP wants to do that, they could very well do that. But then the MLAs who quit will have to resign their seats from the house and recontest if they want to come back.
But it's interesting you admit that there is pressure.
Well, there's been a pressure from day one. The day we formed the government, you just count the number of ED inquiries, how many people are behind the bars, how many ministers are behind the bars, how many ministers are currently facing ED inquiries. I mean, no wonder people called it the ED government.
But Mr. Chavan, you don't share Mr. Sharad Pawar's assessment that there could be an early election in Maharashtra. Why do you think he said that?
No, I think, see, the whole exercise was making Mr. Eknath Shinde with a group of 50, the Chief Minister, was twofold. This whole exercise is aimed at the Bombay Municipal Corporation election, which happens in next 2-3 months. They would like to get rid of Shiv Sena for good. There is a threefold objective. Number one is to get control of BMC, the Bombay Municipal Corporation, which BJP has not been able to do for the last 25 years. Secondly, they want to consolidate the Hindu votes into one box. Right now, they're getting split between Shiv Sena and BJP, and thereby increasing the Lok Sabha tally. So they are very clear. I think there will be some rethink after the BMC election, and also Pune, Nagpur, and there are 27 municipal corporations in Maharashtra. Many of them are going to have elections in the next 2-3 months. So they will see the impact of this, the grassroots impact of the split. Because as you see, the MLAs are with Mr. Eknath Shinde, but the workers may not be.
So you're saying that anything can happen post BMC. We don't know yet.
Absolutely right. But I think the purpose is they want to reconnect with Maratha community. If Mr. Devendra Fadnis had become Chief Minister again back to back, then very small Brahmin community, the first Chief Minister ever in Maharashtra from Brahmin community was Mr. Devendra Fadnis. If he Chief Minister again, then there could be a message in that they wanted to avoid that.
But Mr. Chavan, can I ask you,
interim arrangement.
is the MVA going to survive? Is it going to continue? What happens to Uddhav Thackeray? He's thanked Sonia Gandhi and Sharad Pawar for their support. But what is the future of the MVA alliance in Maharashtra?
Nidhi, when the election took place in November 2019, we were destined to sit in the opposition. The pre-poll alliance of BJP and Shiv Sena had won a clear majority, and we were expecting the swearing-in to happen. But because they fought amongst themselves for whatever reason, we saw an opportunity, we grabbed it, and we have a MVA government for 2.5 years. Now again, there has been a split in the Shiv Sena. Numbers have again as they are, and we are sitting in the opposition. So we will coordinate whoever wants to oppose BJP, whether it's called MVA, whether it's called something else, whether will we have a joint floor coordination. Most probably we will have a joint floor coordination. So you could call that MVA will survive. But anybody who is opposed to the BJP ideology, the communal politics,
including Uddhav Thackeray, including him,
including his remaining party. There are about 15 members of his party in the house right now. The total numbers are about 110 or so. So we will coordinate our floor strategy and we'll oppose the government now, and just wait and watch when the ministry is formed. It's not going to be easy. First of all, there are a lot of BJP MLAs, then there are Congress people and NCP people who joined in 2019, a whole lot of them, and now this 50-member group. Now satisfying everybody will be a Herculean task, and when a ministry is formed, you will start the fissures appearing, and therefore whether they will implode itself, one can't say. But I think I give it a time till the elections of the municipal corporation. After that, there will be rethink.
But important that you say that whether it's called the MVA or something else, anti-BJP forces will continue to work together in Maharashtra. So let's see how that plays out. Mr. Chavan, thank you very much for joining us on NDTV this evening.